All right, today we're going to be doing an iron shaft fitting for me. Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So I am going to be putting together some new irons for myself, and part of that is going to be I need some new shafts. So this video is really just me fitting myself, trying to figure out what shaft I want to have in my new irons. I've pretty much got it narrowed down to a weight class that I like, which is around 120 grams. We're going to be sticking pretty much in a stiff flex, more or less. And so I've got 4 or 5 different options that I'm going to go through today. Hit a bunch of balls on GC Quad, gather all the data, see what kind of numbers I get, specifically really looking at which of these setups is going to give me the most consistent, the tightest dispersion overall. That is my number one goal here, is to find that. Distance, not really so concerned with. Spin rate, again, not really so concerned with. Really just figuring out which shaft combination is going to give me the tightest grouping for the most consistent results. So that's what we're going to do today. Very simple. I'm just going to be going through these different shafts, kind of talking about what I feel the difference may be, and then at the end we're going to check out all the numbers, and hopefully I will have a winner that I'm going to be putting in my new irons. Okay, first up we're going with Dynamic Gold 120 gram. I've used the shaft before. It's what I had in my last set of irons, so definitely a viable option. And so we're going to start off with this. I'm going to hit, we'll say 10 balls with each shaft. Yeah, maybe not 10. Let's say 8 balls with each shaft, so we'll do 2 sets of 4. That way we break it up and hopefully don't have any sort of ordering bias. So we'll go through them one time, 4 each, and then go through them a second time, 4 each. Hitting 7 irons here. I'm not going to tell you what head I'm using. I'm going to leave that for another video. That'll be probably the build video, but Dynamic Gold 120. All right, that was our first set of 4. Dynamic Gold 120, very stable shaft. Feels a lot like the standard Dynamic Gold, just in a slightly lighter package. Okay, next up, Project X 6.0. Basically the same weight as the previous shaft. A little different profile, so we'll see how this feels in comparison. This one feels a little bit stiffer to me overall, a little stiffer in the upper portion of the shaft. It just feels like it doesn't have quite as much give to it. Whether that is good or bad, I'm not entirely sure. All right, not too bad. I feel like this one maybe had a little less curve on it versus the Dynamic Gold. We'll keep that in mind as we move forward. Okay, next up, Nippon Modus 120, another very popular shaft. Again, same basic weight, so we'll see what happens with this one in a slightly different profile again. That's as straight as I can hit one right there. So that's a pretty good start. Not quite as straight that time. Well, that one's the first time I actually put a little fade on it. I like this one. I like the feel of this one. It has just a very kind of smooth feel to it. Next up, let's go back to the Project X line, and this time we're going to be going into the LS, the low spin. If nothing else, with this Project X LS, I do really like the finish on it with this brushed finish it has. It just looks really nice and very simple and clean. Again, same basic weight, 120 grams. That was hit hard. Definitely shut it a little bit too much. Let's stay on the green. Just off to the left. Okay, last up, we've got the Modus 115. So just a tiny bit lighter. It's really not very different from the other Modus, but again, a little different profile. We'll see what happens on this one. That was off the toe, but really straight. A little chunky. No. Rushed it. Okay, second set through, Dynamic Gold, 120, stiff flex. Second set, Project X 6.0. Oh. Modus 120. Okay, Project X LS 6.0. Again, if this was purely a beauty contest, I feel like this would be my personal favorite just on the appearance of it. But thus far, the results have not shown to match up with the appearance. Oh gosh. This one does not. This one does not want to cooperate. Okay, final set, Nippon Modus 115. Another good one when I slow it down enough. Okay, that's 8 shots with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different shafts. Let's check out all the numbers. I'm not going to throw out anything, so every single shot I hit is going to be on here. First thing I will say, notice the club head speed remained very constant throughout the entire thing, so that shouldn't really influence the other results. I will also just point out ball speed because I think, if nothing else, that is an indication of how solidly I was hitting it. And the leader in ball speed was the Dynamic Gold 120, followed by the Project X 6.0 and the Modus 120. When it came to long versus short consistency, again, The most consistent of the bunch was the Dynamic Gold 120, followed by the Project X, and then the Modus 120 and the 115 were both tied for third there. Now, if we look at the dispersion as far as offline goes, and we look at that standard deviation, here the winner was actually the Project X 6.0, and in second place was the Nippon 115. Then following that, we had Dynamic Gold, we had Modus 120. So I think there's probably 3 or 4 that are in the same general grouping. That Project X LS just didn't cut it. It just didn't work right for me. And I'll be honest, even though the numbers on the left and right offline dispersion were really good with, or better with the Modus 115, I just didn't love it. I just felt like it wasn't as easy or as consistent to swing, regardless of what the numbers are telling me on that left and right. So I think I'm going to pull that one out also. I think it's just a touch light, or it's in my head that it's a touch light. So we're just going to leave it. So last thing we're going to do, closest to the pin with the 3 remaining shafts, that being Dynamic Gold 120, Project X 6.0, and Modus 120. We're going to hit 1 ball with each on a par 3 here, see which one comes out the closest, and then I'm going to make my decision from that. Okay, and the winner at 7 feet and 4 inches, Project X 6.0. Not really surprising. Again, I hit all 3 of these pretty well, but I feel like maybe the Project X was the best all around of everything I've tested. And then in this last closest to the pin, I definitely made the best swing of the 3, albeit it was still a little heavy, but got away with it and ended up being the winner. So it looks like my new irons are going to be having some Project X 6.0s. Again, I'm going to have a video upcoming where I'm going to be building those irons and actually getting into some club building stuff because I haven't done a build video in a bit. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. Hey, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please go down below, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you'll be alerted when I post new videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.